What is up, everyone? Kate here from MP Tennis. Hope you guys are doing great today. Racket review time, and we have the Head Radical MP. All right. Now, shout out to Charlie in the comments. He said, demo this racket. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to demo this racket. I think he could be right. It might be what I'm looking for. To give you guys a little of a back story, I demoed the Radical Pro, and it was just missing a little bit of power. It was missing a little bit of, just a tiny bit of some spice that I was looking for on the groundies, and when defending, I felt like I needed a little bit more from the racket, a little bit more give. So he said, demo the MP. And he was right. This racket does give a little bit more juice. So we're going to get into that today. This is the Head Radical MP, ladies and gentlemen. So let's get into it. So the Head Radical MP, what did I think of it? It's the same paint job as the Pro, so no complaints there. But yeah, let's really get into it. From the back, right away, I noticed that it did have a little bit more power, a little bit more give, and a little bit more of a launch angle, a little bit higher of a launch angle, and that's exactly what I was looking for. And I kind of loved this racket. I really did. It was really good. And we'll get into what's happening with my racket switching and all that stuff later, but let's talk about it for now. From the forehand side, much better than the Pro. Felt pretty good. I felt like I kind of felt like I couldn't miss with this racket. I still did feel like the launch angle on the forehand side was still a tiny bit low. So at times I did feel like I wasn't missing in the net. I just felt like the lower launch angle was causing the ball to drop a little short. Same issue that I had with the Radical Pro, but just not as, it wasn't nearly as pronounced or as bad as it was on the Radical Pro. But I still felt like it was a tiny bit short sometimes, but it was going in a lot, so I kind of kept telling myself, hey, look, you're making a lot more balls. They just might be a little bit shorter. So, I mean, that was on the forehand side. It was really good, don't get me wrong. I would give it like an A minus, because with my like Extreme Tour, I'm getting a lot of pop, I'm getting some spin, it's kicking on the person. So if it's short, it still has some revolutions on it. So it's still kind of coming at the person. So I did feel like I was missing a little bit of some juice there. I did add some weight at 3 and 9 and did counter it down here in the grip. So that is something that definitely helped a little bit. Stock, you need to add weight to this racket for it to perform how you want. If we go into the backhand side, hitting flat backhands with this racket, chef's kiss. I love just smacking it on the backhand. It was really nice. It felt like it was going in all the time. But yeah, I mean, no complaints. I would probably give this an A or an A plus in the backhand, and yeah, no really complaints at all. It felt really solid at contact. There is one thing on the ground strokes though that I'll save for when I'm done talking about slices that I did not like. And it's weird because the Pro didn't do this. But to get to slices, like we'll go to now, it felt a little weird sometimes. Like I would go for a slice, and it felt like I didn't have as much feel as I did when I was hitting with the Radical Pro or my Extreme Tour, or even some other rackets I've demoed in the past. It felt like I wasn't necessarily connected as long as I was hoping for, which kind of leads me to my next point. If we have to give a grade though to the slice, I would say B+. But for ground strokes overall, even when I added lead, it felt like the ball was like holding on the string bed for a very long time. So it was a very odd sensation because I've never felt this with a racket. So I would swing, and it felt like the ball, like you could feel it go back in the string bed and then launch forward. And this made me kind of have a little bit of confidence issues when swinging out, because I would swing out and I wouldn't know how much to swing, because Like I said, I was having a little bit of issues when the ball was, I had issues when the ball was landing short. I felt like I was hitting short a little bit. But then sometimes I would go for a big swing and it felt like the ball like exploded off the racket and I couldn't actually control it. Now this is when I did have lead on the racket as well, but I couldn't play myself with its stock form either. So I needed to find a way there. But I really had a hard time controlling the string bed. Like I felt like it was coming out very fast and like it was like a trampoline effect. And I strung the racket at 54 and 52, so this is not a loose tension really, it's just pretty average. With Slinko Confidential, I've never had this issue with any other rackets. So it was very strange. That's something I would knock about this racket, and I really did like it. So we'll continue on, but we'll come back to it. Up at the net, quite solid. There is something else that I'm not really a fan of, is these power sound grommets. It makes this pinging noise. And I didn't even really notice it as much with the Radical Pro. You can really hear the ball pop off of it for sure, but it makes like a pinging noise, so I'm not really a fan of that. But volleys, it was solid, especially with the lead. No issues whatsoever. I'd give it like, A. Same on overheads, A. Can't miss an overhead really. Like I said in one of my last reviews, I feel like when you're demoing a racket for overhead, like it's either good or bad, and it just seems like they're always good because I feel like overheads, you either can hit an overhead or you can't, and I'm at the level where I can hit an overhead, so it felt good. So volleys and overheads, A. Serve, I was able to hit my spots very well. On the kick serve and the slice serve, didn't get as much spin, but was able to still hit the spots, so very nice there. Return was also very solid. Just that problem though with the string bed. I felt like I couldn't, it was landing in, but I didn't have the feeling, since it was the trampoline effect for me. And I don't know if other people have had this issue, but this is something that I noticed. It just felt like it was staying on the string bed long. And I'm somebody that has played with Babolat's. I use my Extreme Tour. I don't know if those rackets are different, like if they don't stay on the string bed as long, which is very strange. It's very strange because I played with the Radical Pro and it was good, and I didn't feel that sensation. The balls were landing a lot shorter, but I didn't have that sensation. So this racket though, it's actually really good. I'm docking it right now. I almost switched to this racket. So I'm not switching to this racket. I'm so happy I demoed it though because it's very, very solid. I was debating on playing with it in one of our matches actually to really test it because I was so close to switching. But these little nitpicky things that I'm talking about, like the string bed issue that I felt and the pingy noise, I'm sorry, but if I'm switching to a racket, all that, it's got to be perfect. I'm not going to switch to a racket, but it's not perfect for me. And I know you guys understand that, because if you want to switch to a racket, it better be darn good. So there's just a couple things here that I didn't really enjoy. The sound that it gave me and the feeling off of the string bed, which I keep coming back to. But overall, this is a great racket. You guys were right in the comments that told me that this is a good one, especially when customized with lead and with a poly setup, I think. I don't know how this would perform with a hybrid, because I feel like you would need to add even a little bit more weight since the hybrid makes the racket lighter. But man, oh man, Head Radical MP, definitely a good stick. If you want a tiny bit more of a launch angle, height-wise I mean, and a tiny bit more depth of shot with a ton of control, you're coming from a 98 square inch racket, could be an Extreme Tour, you're looking for something there, you have to demo this one. It's a great racket to try. It just didn't seal the deal for me. It was very close, but just a couple of little things that I didn't quite love, but very close. But that's going to be it for today. This is the Head Radical MP. Thank you for stopping by. We're on our way to 10,000 subs, so please like and subscribe, and we'll catch you guys in the next video.